Fit in 10 Nation, it is day 66. My apologies here, this video is getting out very late. I had my day was already busy, and then obviously I had the whole COVID thing happen. I was in the middle of training clients, and my phone just started blowing up about, is the gym still open, and this and that. So it looks like we're not allowed to run classes. Fine. So here's what we were gonna do. Your gyms are still allowed to be open. You're still allowed to go in and work out. So what you're going to do is you're still going to come in at the supervised times. You'll do the workout that I have outlined for you. There's a video, and I will be there, and I will be there to help you. There's nothing wrong with this. I'm allowed to be at my gym, and you are allowed to come in and work out. So, and we're allowed to have multiple people in there. Okay, we just have to make sure we socially distance. That's all. So, and quite frankly, I think that we are much safer than, say, if you go down to Gold's Gym down near Broadway, and you look through the windows there, and there is 40, 50, 60 people just randomly working out and passing each other, and it's a big open space with people just rummaging over each other, literally. So I don't really understand. I don't get it, to be honest with you, because you're still going to come in, it's still going to be 6 people there, but we just can't run a class, even though you can be there and work out individually, which is exactly what we do in our classes. Anyways, you can see I'm a little bit frustrated. So that's what we're going to do. Not breaking any rules. You're going to come in, you're going to do your workouts, and I will be there. Okay? So we get no excuse here. There's no excuse. I mean, unless for some reason you don't feel safe or whatever, but it's up to you. Okay? So day 66, 4 days to go, and I still got to put up the calendar. I realize that. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to just get into my laptop here so I can see some of your questions. All right, so let's do that. I'm not really prepared for this video, as you can see. All right, so here we go. Name something specific you can improve on for the following week. I can improve on lunges and any exercise that requires touching my knee to the ground. I'm not sure how, but I can try harder. I can improve on lunges and exercise that requires touching my knee to the ground. I can improve. Okay, so I'm assuming, yes, that's something you can improve upon. That's awesome. With this person that wrote me, I hope you're going to come back for this last week. All right. Anyways, I'll leave that up to you. Or maybe you could do some lunge at home. Okay? But yes, getting your knee to the floor, there really is no reason why you shouldn't or can't do this, with maybe the exception of having excessively tight hip flexors. Okay? In that case, it's hard to get down into the position where you keep your hips underneath your shoulders. But again, you'd have to be excessively tight. All right, name something specific you need help with. I need help with hanging side knees. Okay, hanging side knee tuck, I think is probably what you mean. Either my hands start to hurt and I cannot bring my knees to my chest as high as other people. What other exercise would help me with this? Listen, this is another exercise that if you can do one, then that's where you start from. You do one and then you work on it. You do multiple sets of one. If you can do 2, you do multiple sets of 2. You try to perfect, so whatever, try to be able to replicate, at least over 4 or 5 sets, a certain number that you can do correctly. So let's just say maybe on one set you could do 4, but then maybe on the next one you can only do 3, and then maybe the next one 3, and then the 2 and 2 and 2. So then maybe what you do is say, okay, listen, I'm going to focus on doing 2 or 3 every set with perfection, and then build volume on that. Just over time, you're going to keep practicing that, and then eventually you're going to say, hey, you know what? I think I can do a 4th, and I could do maybe 4 sets of 4. You will get better, and you will build up over time. Okay, just things take time. But don't think of going to a different exercise in order to do that. Okay, now if you can't do 1, that's a little bit different. Okay, if you can't do 1, then I would just start with some general abdominal strengthening movements. Like a double crunch or something like that. Okay. Combination of floor work that we do, leg raises, that type of thing. Is there any thing you would like me to cover in this week's video series? How do I calculate my macros after the challenge? Okay, I went through this. You're going to start with the exit strategy, which I sent out to you today, okay? All right, moving right along here. Name something specific you can improve on for the following week. Keep measuring all my food. She didn't write that, I just said that. Keep measuring all food. Aiming for 4 meals with 30 grams of protein each meal. Keep a positive attitude towards progress, not results immediately. Fair enough, yes. But, you know, like I said, progress will take place. You just got to follow everything, right? So following everything as closely as possible, progress will happen. It's all relative. I'm not centered. It's driving me crazy. It will happen. It will happen. You got to be patient. Obviously, if you haven't been doing things as best as you could, or you know, if you're off the mark, then you're probably not going to see as much results. But ultimately, it's the relative change in what you're doing. So for a lot of you, you haven't been weight training, you haven't been watching what you're eating, you haven't been consistent with your eating and consistent with a slight deficit in your calories, or maybe perhaps more than a slight deficit. You should see change. There is no reason for it, okay? Which all it tells me is you're just not doing everything, or you're over consuming or whatever, okay? Well, that falls into not doing everything. Name something specific you need help with. Continuing to document, measure all foods for accountability. That's really good. Yes. Okay, almost 7 minutes here. Let's start reading this and see if I can answer it. Is there anything you would like me to cover in this week's video series? Yes. If we haven't achieved a 20% fat loss in the challenge, how to keep going, the process of continuing to lose weight, fat loss, and at what rate if we continue on the calories, macros, and training. Like, is 1 pound per week achievable? For instance, I want to keep going on this program of eating and training until the end of June. How to continue to show progress. If you keep at it, what is a reasonable fat loss? Weight loss. 1, do you have to keep pushing in the gym? I think one is, oh, maybe you mean like, I'm not sure why 1 is there. Do you have to keep pushing in the gym, or cut more calories, or keep going? What type of thing? Okay, so so this person here. Okay, so the answer's not gonna be the same for all of you because it just depends on how well you did in this challenge. But to this person in specific, and obviously you know who you are because you wrote this question. There's a lot written here, but I am going to say to you that at where you are at right now, that's what I would try to, I mean, listen, even if you were, well, I don't need to say that. If you keep at what I've currently given you, you'll continue to lose weight. Let me just say that, okay? And you should lose, yes, you should lose at least 1 pound per week, okay? Because your deficit is quite high, okay? Also, this person wrote a very nice email. I want to read it out to you. I won't do it tonight because I don't really have time. I will read it out tomorrow. Listen, if you are one of those people who struggle through this challenge, and there have been many others, I told you there was one person who did this challenge, and they did it, I believe it was definitely 3, and it possibly was 4. So the first 2 or 3 times they did it, they did terrible. Okay, terrible. Okay, and on the 4th time they won it. So, you know, it's sometimes part of the reason why things take time is it's not this adjustment of the body, but it's the adjustment of the mind. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that's the case with you, but it is the case with many people for many things, including yours truly. All right, so just things take time, and that's just the way it is. But you know, the key to success in anything is to keep trying, right? To keep trying. And yes, as much as you, not you, the person who wrote this, but I'm talking just to you guys in general, as much as perhaps you may believe, it is very possible for you to achieve a dramatic change in your body composition, dramatic change in your physical body, in your physicality, if you put the time in and the effort and you don't give up, okay? Message of the day. Well, I guess this is a good one because I was pretty mad today. I'm pretty annoyed, to be honest with you. Because I'm just gonna rant here for just a second. This rant doesn't help you, but I'm just gonna rant for myself. But I get so annoyed because my business starts to build up, and then I feel like I get punched in the face because people are gonna run away from the gym now for a while, and it just drives me crazy because, if anybody runs a business, you're gonna understand that. Well, I don't really need to say it, but it's just frustrating. You start to build up, and then you get, just think of it as being, you get beaten up, you fall to the ground. You start getting up again, things are looking good, you get punched in the face again, back down to the ground, right? And it's just annoying. It's so annoying. Anyways, this is a good quote for me. But hopefully it's a good quote for you too. You're as happy as you allow yourself to be. No one else is in control of how you view the world and your life. Your happiness is up to you. Your happiness is up to you. And this is something I have to remind myself because, believe me, I have, through various points in my life, perhaps felt sorry for myself, or perhaps, felt like I was in some capacity underprivileged, or whatever. Just stuff that this is just, at the end of the day, this is nonsense. And we have to realize that we are very lucky for being in the world, specifically exactly where we are situated in the world. We are very lucky to be in this position. We are very lucky to have everything we have. And when times do get tough for you, you got to be thankful for everything you have. And know that this too will pass, right? It will eventually pass, hopefully. Though I don't know where COVID's going to go because I don't think it's going to disappear. I really don't. Please, I hope I'm wrong, okay? Not to be negative, I'm just saying, right? Viruses don't generally disappear, okay? All right. Positive energy, positive vibes, right? Believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude. I will talk to you all very soon. Have a wonderful day. Classes are still going. Classes are not going on. Supervised workouts are happening. So show up to the gym, do your workout, and I will be there. Okay? We'll see you this week. See you guys.